Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Tara Alana. I'm doing a video reaction to the YouTube channel called Chilling Scares. It's called 5 Most Disturbing Cases of Real Found Footage. Now go to Chilling Scares YouTube channel and subscribe and do the thing. And subscribe to my channel please and like my video.
That turns a happy memory into
I'm having some technical difficulties.
Watch closely.
Inside the package was a single item. A videotape with no...
Wow, you see something space there.
label or note to explain its contents. Curious to see what was on it, he put it in...
Now this is a video of found footage. Oh, it's like a demon face. Do you think that's real or do you think that's AI?
As the candles go out and the room falls in, appears directly inside the birthday
his camcorder and pressed play. And the footage he found on it was shot.
Notice anything unusual during the celebration. It was only when they watched this video later that they discovered what had been right.
That doesn't look real. I don't believe that.
Torture methods?
The Lake Path Encounter, number 9.
The lake path near this uploader's home has a dark reputation among locals. For years, residents have reported seeing a woman in white wandering near the water after dark. They call her La Llorona, the weeping
Llorona. Oh, I heard of her
woman who lost her children near the water and now haunts these areas searching for them. Most people avoid
I got gags.
but Instagram user Educan Training Official regularly posts videos of his 2 protection dogs, Zeus and Thanos. He's walked this path countless times during his late evening training sessions, and he never believed the stories until this night, when his camera captured something that made him a believer.
That he personally knew the person on screen. This wasn't the manifesto of a serial killer planning to take innocent lives.
Hay algo ahí.
The dog's
Was tormented.
Espérate.
Oh, I see it now.
He eventually managed to escape the cult and was now planning to take revenge on the people. Will think years. He recorded this hour-long video.
I see a woman in a dress.
Have all the answers about what he was about to do and why.
What would you do if you be scared?
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app in
Base 44. Guys.
Difficulties.
Well, many reasons, I guess. Is that I want there to be some record.
Child of Karen Alva, member of a cult called the Children of God, which used often teenagers. 2 years after Ricky's birth, he was
That's Eddie.
Quieto, Thanos. Quietos.
And Thanos suddenly become dogs begin something in the shadows.
These acts,
from the
but when his
darkness, a figure, white,
followers did to Ricky, called it the story of DeVito.
Both dogs react with pure
But as
panic,
Ricky got older,
straining against their leashes as the figure stands motionless.
in 1999, he finally made.
The entity retreats back into the shadows. Uses his trained protection dogs reacted to this figure differently.
Reintegration
than they would
into
to a normal
society.
human.
24
Whatever
years
emerged from that
cult was anything but simple.
darkness near the lake that night triggered a primal fear response in both animals.
And
The
later
local
moved to
legend about La Llorona haunting this path suddenly didn't seem like just a story anymore. And Jesus, well, he hasn't returned to that section of the lake after dark ever since. What is the wondering if even trained
February of 2005, he decided enough was enough
of this
took to his own hands. Which brings us back
That's why he wants to murder people.
to video.
a man is relaxing in his living room when his phone alarm off, but he never set an alarm for this time.
For revenge. It's a need
He wants
for
revenge.
justice.
In this video, he also laid out his goal. He'd apparently
From the top right corner of the
after mailing copies of his recording, he invited Angela into his home and
alarm sound.
for taking her life. He then got into his drove to Blythe, California. What he was going to do next. Despite Ricky ultimately couldn't fall through. The more
Near them.
he was found where he had taken his own life.
He took
The
his own.
faint voice can be heard whispering.
Hardly surprising for his wife. You see, Ricky believed that killing the cultists would
Heard it at the time.
bring him peace, something he reiterated in his last video.
I can imagine how liberating.
But that's not what happened.
You're tortured like that when you're.
That
What do you
despite his
expect
anger
when
and
you grow up?
resentment, killing Angela was the hardest thing he had ever done. Taking revenge didn't bring the comfort he was looking for.
Now
Enough to take any more lives, and decided to end it all that night, leaving his friends and family with this hour-long video to remember it by. As for the family cult, it remains active to this day under the leadership of his mother.
to her, let me know what you think in the comments
And his mother
below.
leads the cult.
On
Wow.
October 4th, 2006, at approximately 6:15, very police department
Instagram
received a
user Noah Nafferson made a decision
call from
that
a
most
woman saying,
paranormal
"My children are dead," in a calm and quiet voice. The disconnect between her tone and the situation she was
look at Annabelle doll for those
My children are dead, and she's. How could
in
you
a
be
glass
calm
case at
if
the
your children are
described
dead?
was extremely
for a trap.
but they might find. The door opened. On her name disturbed it always.
Well, no
of two little girls, 3-year-old Serena, 19-month-old.
19 months old. Would she
Both
kill
were
her own?
dressed in clean for there was nothing else in the room that could have explained. But
Innocent. They don't do wrong.
the recording
I
started
love
on a
kids so
wholesome
much.
It's
Good.
The footage shows the glass cabinet door suddenly opening
Any
on
birthday
its own.
presents from the
Inside
birthday
sits the
fairies?
Annabelle replica, positioned as if watching the room. Noah Nafferson notices the open door and approaches
there's
to
found-
close it. Closer objects on the nearby table, moving without any physical contact, realizing something is immediately flees the kitchen. The Annabelle doll, though, remains in its cabinet, but clearly not.
The next video
powerless.
also showed Elaine and
Paranormal investigators
just hanging
have
around.
long warned
more than that.
that replica spirit dolls can.
So far, everything looked quite. The third
by inviting an Annabelle replica into his home. Noah Nafferson may.
recording, dated October 2nd, was when things started to get weird. The tone of the recordings instantly changed as Elaine suddenly went on and on about their horrible living conditions and the torment her ex-husband Leo and his family had put her through, said all in front of her children.
You can't see
I'll come in my house.
to the camera. Boo-hoo.
A man is staying at a hotel for a work
Number 2.
conference when something happens that his colleagues.
The same as Leonardo. All I wanted to do
Because of her baby daddy, and she killed her kids.
He's been assigned to room 237. On his first night, he wakes
Room 237.
up at around 3 a.m. to find a pale woman
Sitting at the edge of his bed.
sitting at the edge of his bed. The woman doesn't move. She
stop, and I had CAS
just
keep
stares
bringing these two
directly
people
at
into
him
my
with hollow eyes. He
amount of
freezes in terror,
My 3-year-old
unable
daughter
to move or
Serena
speak.
and I,
But then she fades into
horrible.
the darkness. The next morning, he tells his work colleagues about the encounter.
And she's ignoring her kid. And he's calm.
They don't believe him. They dismiss it as a nightmare or sleep paralysis. However, when he returns to
Leo was apparently extremely abusive, both physically and mentally. Prevented her from contacting her parents, and at one point
of dread washes over him, determined to prove he's not imagining
this
things.
resulted in Leo getting charged with domestic violence and the two getting divorced. However, at the time of this recording, Leo was starting to turn things around and was engaged in a legal battle with Elaine over the custody of their daughters. This took an immense toll on Elaine's mental health. She was already quite unstable and had been to the psych ward twice in the past couple of years.
No, she went to the psych ward.
The custody battle caused her to lose it completely and developed severe paranoia. She became worried that Leo would one day show up and forcibly take her daughters away. Then, on October 2nd, after ending this recording at 8:39 p.m.,
just seconds before,
Elaine did the
there was no one where this figure is now seen.
Confession?
The footage he captured proved his colleagues wrong. He wasn't hallucinating, and the hotel has never officially acknowledged the hauntings in room 237, but staff members
She's crazy. She lost
know
it.
the truth. That pale woman has been sitting on that bed for years, waiting for guests who
Tell the truth. You and Stacy
don't know they're sharing the room.
leaving me, telling her I had to sign papers when I went to victim witness to get the truth. Trying I want the truth.
Danny Ortega has been experiencing an unsettling feeling in his apartment for weeks. The feeling
Danny Ortega has been
of being
experiencing
watched from outside his window. At first, he dismissed it as paranoia.
Kill them.
You wanted to win? You won.
But
Are you happy? How does it make you feel?
always coming from the same direction. And always when he was alone. His apartment is located on the second floor of an older building. No fire escape, no external structure.
Straight up. I have no respect for a woman like that. Get back at the father for killing the kids to get back at the father and make him feel bad. Hope you.
When one afternoon, while sitting in his room, something finally confirms that his instincts were right.
Why'd you kill them? Goodbye.
was arrested on the spot and was later charged with murder, with the found footage in her home serving as crucial evidence against her. She was ultimately sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years.
She don't deserve no parole.
Years ago,
You kill innocent
the
little
Bureau of Land
daughter,
Management
like
published a public service announcement
19-month-old
Stay out and stay
little
alive,
girl.
educating viewers about the countless dangers of exploring abandoned
Stay out and
mines,
stay alive.
including the very real risk of cave-ins, volatile explosives, wild animals, and entire sections without oxygen. However, the most chilling part of the
I'll be
video
right
was
back.
the story and the accompanying found footage of an accident that occurred years earlier. On July 4th, 1998, a group of young men found an abandoned mine in Nevada and decided to explore it for fun. Though, surprisingly, the boys seemed acutely aware of the mistake they were making right from the start.
You see Britt pointing out, stay alive. It's a good point, but we're not too
July
smart.
4th,
So we're gonna go
1998,
anyway.
actual trespass.
Unsafe mine, danger.
You know,
Yet the allure of exploring a place untouched for decades was too tempting for them to ignore. However, the deeper they went into the mine, the more dangerous it became, with the boys walking over sketchy wooden bridges to continue their journey. They even found signs of the mine caving in, but chose to ignore those signs just to venture deeper.
If you look at all this, there's lots of racks and stuff that have
I
fallen
hate to
to
see
the ceiling,
how
which
this is going to
indicates that
end. They're probably all going to die. It's going to cave in on them.
he'd be walking his way. And, well, they've already fallen, so they're not going to fall again. Well, there's more to fall still.
An important thing to keep in mind is that these weren't professionals with prior experience of safely exploring abandoned mines. This was just a group of boys looking to do something cool and film the adventure. They could have easily plunged their deaths down a 1,000-foot mine shaft or gotten lost in the miles-long maze of tunnels, which started looking more and more likely as time went on.
Yeah, we gotta remember where we're
I would never
located
do
now.
something like that, ever go in a mine.
Grant? What do you mean? Okay, they're all gonna act on. They'll be good, but...
Only if there was like amethyst and jewels in there or something and diamonds. I like gemstones and crystals.
Where's that go? Goes down.
I went in the mines in Sudbury before at Science North,
Well, it'd be kind of hard.
down on the elevator down in the mines. At Science North in Sudbury, Ontario, where the Big Nickel is.
Toxic gases and radioactive elements could have also caused serious these dangers and make their way fairly deep into the mine.
Got some pipe. Oh, wow. This is alrighty.
While crossing a sketchy section of the mine, one of the boys noticed a rope dangling down from one of the wooden beams. Immediately became curious there.
Down to the main shaft. Wow, so we're climbing down this rope. Yeah. How far down? How are we getting out of it? Climbing up it. I see.
They had little rope climbing experience between them. However, they didn't let that stop them from accomplishing their desires. The guy named Adam decided to be the first one to descend, resulting in this.
How far down did they go?
Why would they want to go down there for?
Like a good 30 feet. Like a hook this. I don't know. About 300 feet. It's like you do it in your mouth. Yeah, it's all like this, though. No, it's like... How did anything down there? Yeah, but I mean, get back up. Yeah, hey, good. Give you my belts to... Adam! Oh! Adam! Adam! Yes. Adam! Oh, God. Oh, God. Somebody help.
What happened?
Adam!
The rope Adam chose to trust was completely worn and gave way shortly after putting his weight on it. This 5 feet down a dark mine shaft and lose consciousness. Luckily, none of the damage he took on his way down was immediately lethal. He was still breathing. Who eventually rescued Adam after an hours-long rescue mission.
Wow, he's
Ultimately,
lucky.
escaping the mine without any
July 4th,
casualties
1998.
was nothing short of a miracle. The mine shaft could have easily been over 100 feet deep, or Adam could have just as easily hit his head on the surrounding wall.
He's lucky he never died.
Both of these scenarios
65
would have
feet
resulted in his
down.
death.
That's crazy.
What's even worse is that the whole group could have gotten stranded in the shaft if the rope broke when the last person was going down. With no way to contact the outside world, the group would have likely died of starvation. Fortunately, they were able to walk away from this terrifying experience with just a few broken bones along with cuts and scratches.
That's crazy. I would never do something like that. Never.
Monday Sierra is so intuitive, I think it disturbed my mind. Again. Get out of my head.
On the 25th of February 2022, the hired maintenance workers to reopen one of the underwater pipes connecting the loading dock and refinery. The operation team included 5 men: Christopher, Kazim, Yusuf, Rishi, and Faisal. They were going to use a pressurized habitat to inspect the pipe and make any necessary repairs. However, shortly after entering this habitat, all 5 men disappeared from the worksite, leaving those on the surface to wonder what could have happened. It wasn't until rescuers found footage from a GoPro mounted to one of the divers' suits that the full truth came to light. The footage showed the men struggling to open the valve keeping the pipe shut, prompting Kazim to go get a wrench. He returned to the habitat and handed the wrench over to his co-workers. But then, a few seconds later, this happened. The moment the valve was opened, its low pressure created a powerful vacuum. Water rushed into the habitat, while the pressurized air violently forced everyone into the pipe. All 5 of the men were forced into the 30-inch wide pipe, faster than they could blink.
Wow.
After tumbling through the metal pipe at violent speeds for a minute and a half, they came to a stop at a section containing a small air pocket, just enough to keep them alive, allowing them a brief moment to find their bearings and assess the gravity of their situation. All of them were barely breathing, and one of them had also injured his leg. And while the air pocket was keeping them alive for the moment, it wasn't going to last very long. Other option, the 2 men, Christopher and Faisal, started of reaching the pipe's end and getting help for the other 3. But after making their way through several left Christopher to continue alone, and ultimately reached the end of the pipe, where he was eventually pulled out by rescuers. happened for his four coworkers. Days passed, and the rescue effort slim to none, actually leaving the other four to die in that later his decision, stating that the rescue mission would have only endangered more lives. The incident sparked widespread outrage. But as is the case with similar incidents, nothing much came of it, despite the numerous hearings. The other four divers were left for dead. That said, the Trinidad government did announce a compensation of $1 million for each of their families, as well as Christopher, in April 2025. On April 28, 2000, 22-year-old Russian diving instructor Yuri Lipsky decided to reach the depths of the Blue Hole in Dahab, Egypt. This was a risky plan from the world, with as many as 200 fatalities. To make matters worse, before his dive, a local tank to accompany him on his journey rejected him, since the preparations for this risky of a dive took as long as a week. Yet Yuri wanted to go in just 2 days, no matter to go through with it alone. He started the dive around noon and quickly of a local technical diver named immediately set up the rescuer's son. Unfortunately, by the covered Yuri's floating near the floor of the Blue Hole, back to the surface and got to work. But as he was about to take Yuri back, he noticed that Yuri had captured the moments of Yuri in haunting. The dive started like any other, with Yuri swimming alongside many other divers. However, it was long before everyone else faded from view as he started to descend deeper into the Blue Hole. And that's when all the worst possible things started happening in rapid succession. It started with him failing to keep his gas levels under check, resulting in him getting nitrogen poisoning and becoming extremely disoriented. By the time he realized his situation, he was already sinking like a rock. He started panicking and began inflating his buoyancy control device quickly to avoid sinking any further. Tragically, this backfired. The buoyancy control device bursted due to the rapidly increasing pressure, leaving Yuri no way of safely returning to the surface. The increasing exacerbates the symptoms of nitrogen poisoning as well. And it wasn't long before his camera captured the horrific sounds of him sinking to the 377 feet or 100. The only silver lining in this whole situation is fade by that cost Yuri his life.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Help me reach 1,000 subscribers this year. Thanks. Love you all.
Brian years the creepiest building is much a explores and always alone. Abandoned wet founded by Thomas Westinghouse is best known for the notable Nikola Tesla. And a half decade, then explored on YouTube. It more attention at doesn't seem to be any can be heard in the darkness as he walks around the outside. This past few years, Cleveland is top 10 most daily visit to the abandoned factory, even past recently, as he and in the eerie darkness is the sound of his and at first he seems alarmingly gun. Are getting louder and heavier after get more disturbing.